I'm Janelle and this is toDIYfor. So a while ago I did a poll on the community tab and found out that you guys want to see more decor options, and specifically wanted to see bedroom decor options. So this is kind of decor. I'm going to be building a nightstand, which I have been planning on doing for quite some time. And in front of me I have most of the supplies that I'm going to need. Already have all of my wood cut. And I have these metal grates, which I had previously been using as a box for a nightstand, double high, but this is gonna look a whole lot nicer, I think, and I've been meaning to do this for quite some time. So let's get into the details of what you're going to need. So first off, you're going to need these metal grates, which I actually picked up at the thrift store and painted them myself, so I previously did that, but you're going to need 5 of these per nightstand, and that's just to create a box, and I'll show you how I'll put that together later. Next was my wood. I went to the hardware store, and this is a 1x8, and I got it in 6 feet long, so you can just pick up one of those boards and that'll be enough wood to do your entire nightstand. Right now I have them cut into 16-inch pieces. That way I have a little bit of an overhang when I'm creating my top for this. These pieces are 8 inches long, and these are just some scrap pieces of very thin wood, so you can kind of use whatever you want. That's how we're going to fasten the top to the bottom basket. So all you need is 1 piece of wood and 5 of these in order to create 1. If you're making 2, obviously you need to double it. Okay, so what I'm gonna do first is take these metal grates and form a box so I can have the base of my nightstand built, and then we'll build the wooden top portion. So what I'm going to do is actually just use some zip ties to put this together. They're really strong. They're going to be fairly unnoticeable once I zip tie everything together in a couple of the key places, and I probably would suggest painting it afterwards, but I already painted these grates, so I'm pretty sure this will be hidden well enough that it's not going to be that big of a deal. But you can paint it afterwards and you'll definitely not be able to see the little zip ties. Okay, so my box is now done, and I'm planning on keeping this an open space so you can still store and put things underneath it. And I'm just gonna move this away, but this is very sturdy now. I've actually moved things in here before with just the zip ties holding it together, so it's really sturdy. So next I'm basically going to be building my shelf with wood. This is going to add some height because I find that's way too small and short to be a bedside table, especially with the bed that I have right now. So essentially what I'm going to do is lay out my pieces of wood. These 2 side by side are actually the perfect coverage for the top wire rack on my box. And then I'm going to take my 2 smaller 8-inch pieces, and they are going to kind of rest up here on the back. Let's see if we can get this. And then my last 16-inch piece is going to go across, so I will now have a higher portion to store things on my bed, even another lower level as well, and that way things don't have to fall through the rack. So we're going to kind of piece this thing together now. So ideally it would be awesome if I had, you know, somebody to help me hold this and do it with me, but I don't, so I'm going to have to do the best I can on my own. I'm trying to figure out how to get that to stand still. So you might do when you have nobody helping you. This is just going to provide it to be like a lot more stable on this side while I screw this side together. So first I'm just going to drill some pilot holes and then screw it together after putting some wood glue in between as well. before moving on to my next step, which is just doing a nice sand on everything and then staining it and attaching it all, I'm going to take a bit of my wood filler and fill in these holes that are on the top of my table, and hopefully it should be pretty seamless once we do the stain. Okay, so I allowed that to dry, and now I'm just going to give it a quick sand. I already did a good sand on some of the main rough edges with my electric sander. I'm going to give this a quick sand and clean it all off before I stain it. So I've laid down my plastic, and now I'm just going to open up a stain that I have used previously in my bedroom for my stand-up mirror project, which I will leave linked for you. This is called Provincial. Yes, that's the color of the stain that I'm using today, and then I'm going to put a clear coat on it afterwards. Of course, once everything's dried, you just best to follow your directions. Okay, so I had to let this dry overnight because I think it's 8 hours that the stain needed to set inside, and now I'm just going to go back with a clear coat to protect this, as it's going to be my bedside table. And this, so you're going to need to do probably a couple of coats of this. You're just going to want to follow the directions on the thing that you're using. Okay, so I've allowed my wood to dry after a couple of coats of the top coat, and basically now we're just going to assemble it. So these pieces are going to rest on top of my box. It's gonna hang over about an inch on either side, and you're gonna take your front piece, lay it down here. There'll be a little bit of an overhang up here if you want there to be, and then that's when we're gonna take these two small pieces, and basically they're gonna go up underneath here, and we're going to screw them in underneath. That way this can be kind of removable if you want it to, and this was kind of just the easiest way that I could figure to fasten these boards to the base of your nightstand. Okay, so I've assembled this upside down. Luckily I had this container that is like the exact perfect height. Otherwise you probably want somebody to help you out with. But this obviously is the bottom of it, and this is going to get flipped upside down. So you can kind of align it this way. This actually worked out really awesome. And then we're going to put these here in between, probably more so towards the back and to the sides. They'll be hidden a little bit. And we're just going to screw those into place. So that's my take on a fairly simplistic nightside table or bedside table. I say simplistic because I think it is a project that almost anyone can do, especially if you get the wood cut at the hardware store for you. You don't have to have a saw to cut it or have to worry about doing the measuring. They will do it for you there for a small fee, and then it's a simple build after that, and a little bit of staining and painting, and you'll have this. So I don't exactly know how much this cost me at the end of the day, only because I've had these crates for quite some time, and I bought them at the thrift store. Don't know how much you can purchase them for, but I know they're not that expensive. So total, I'd be surprised if this project cost me $20. Now that's $20 per nightside table that you're making. I did make another one for the other side of my bed, but I think that's really affordable in comparison to some things that you can buy online. And it's got a ton of storage. So let me know if you like this DIY, give the video a like, and for those of you wanting to see more bedroom decor, thank you for voting in the community tabs in that poll I heard, and I will have more bedroom decor ideas coming for you, which is actually quite convenient because my bedroom's kind of the room that I've neglected since I've moved into my new space, so it needs a little bit of love, and I will have those DIYs coming up for you, in the next couple of weeks. So don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any of those. And if you want me to create anything, get in touch with me. You can contact me on Instagram or on Twitter or here on YouTube. You can follow me at Janelle Steeper, and you know, contact me that way. And also, I would love to see any DIYs that you're making at home, whether it be a recreation of something I showed you or something completely different. I just love DIYs in general. So if you do make something, I'd love to check it out. You can tag me in those at Janelle Steeper. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will be back next Wednesday with a new video. Cheers.